So we have a few minutes left. So I'll tell one story. We heard we like stories. Yes. We do like stories about Srila Prabhupada. And this also happened on Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja Day, 1973. So that was the 77th anniversary of his appearance. By this time I had been with Prabhupada for a year as his servant. So a year, that means I sat right there for over 360 classes. We hear how preaching is everything, but you also have to understand. That's why you need the spiritual master. He lets you understand. Because as what happened was, after, in the temple room, Prabhupada gave the class that day. He glorified his disciples. He glorified Pradyumna and Pradyumna's wife, giving them credit for Chaitanya Charitamrita. He said practically Pradyumna has produced, and his wife did all the transcription. Anyway, that happened. Then there's a video, you see Prabhupada in his room, Bhaktivedanta Manor. There's like 6 plates, all on the white cloth on the floor. And Prabhupada sitting there as normally he would sit. He always had one leg up. He would eat like this. And you could see him looking what he wanted, picking one thing from an item from this plate, one item from this plate. I was going in and out, bringing more prasadam. And then he took a nap. And then he rang the bell. So this is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I went in. I offered obeisances. He looked at me. He said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Your health is okay?" I said, "Yes, yes." He said, "You look very thin." He said, "You're okay?" I said, "Yes." And I said, "Oh, well," I said, "it was Janmashtami. We all know Janmashtami, we fast. Everyone fasts. Then when it's 1 o'clock in the morning, how much can you eat?" Even I was 23 years old. You can't eat that much, at least I couldn't, after fasting all day. And Prabhupada, hearing him preach every day, minimize, eat less, sleep less, chant more, serve more. So I thought I'd take the opportunity, and I ate a little less at midnight. Then the next day, 12 hours later, again, you fast all morning long. You feel it here in the stomach. You don't even feel hungry sometimes after you fast. So I told Prabhupada, I said, "Well, it was Janmashtami, I ate a little bit. Then Vyasa Puja Day, I said I fasted, so I wasn't that hungry. Again, I ate a little bit." 2 days, he called me in. He said, "You don't look well." He looked at me. He said, "You have service to do." He said, "You have to be strong." He said, "How are you going to give me massage if you don't eat?" He said, "You should eat whatever you can digest. That's what you should eat." So you might hear hundreds of lectures telling you, don't do this, don't do this. But you have to understand, see, these stories, they're not just pleasant little tales to laugh at. Everything is an instruction. Everything Prabhupada did, everything you looked at him doing, everything you heard him say, every move he made is an instruction in Krishna consciousness. Everything. So that was my instruction, was eat. Eat and do your service. So pretty soon there's going to be prasadam. Eat, take prasadam to your full satisfaction. That was also Prabhupada's instruction. And then 2 years later, right here in Prabhupada's quarters, he called me into the room. Same thing, fast day. He called me in. And me, I have no memory of what happened yesterday, what the speaker 2 years before. And he looked at me, he said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yes, Prabhupada." He said, "You look very thin. Are you eating enough?" Of course, I was very thin because here I was sick. There was a different reason. Isn't that I didn't want to eat. You can't eat when you're sick. But the same instruction he gave me. He said, you have service to do. Pradyumna, when he didn't come for breakfast, same thing. We would hear Prabhupada all the time telling us, do this, don't do this. Stop all your eating, stop. He would chastise us for sleeping so many times. So Pradyumna stopped eating breakfast. Prabhupada said, where's Pradyumna? I was always the one, I said, Prabhupada, he's not taking breakfast now. He just eats 8 almonds, blanched almonds. That's all he eats. I read that, Ayurveda, very good for the brain. He said because he was sleeping, he said, so he doesn't want to eat so much. Prabhupada looked at me. He went right into the room and called Pradyumna. Pradyumna, come and take breakfast. Why aren't you having breakfast? Oh, Prabhupada, if I eat breakfast, I just go to sleep. Sleep all day if you have to, he said. Sleep 10 hours a day. You have to take prasadam. So we have to understand when we hear everyone saying, do this, do this. Preaching. Everyone should be out preaching. After 2.5 years with Prabhupada, like everyone before me, I wanted to leave his service. And of course, I didn't know how to tell him. I went into his room. I said, Prabhupada, I want to stay in Hawaii. I want to preach. He looked at me. He said, my preaching's not good enough? So how we preach, everyone's preaching. Pujaris are preaching, the cooks are preaching, everything is preaching. You have to find that spot, you know? That's why you need guru. That's why you need advanced. Find that place where you can perform your Krishna consciousness nicely.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.